Hey everyone, I'm going to read on Jelani Day. Um, was a university student, only 25 years old, and was found in a river. Drowned is what the coroner said. Um, Mom says no, something happened to him. His car was found without license plates, parked in the woods, and his clothes were all off and left on the shore of the lake or river. It was a river. And they just told his mom that he drowned, and that's that. And it doesn't sound. I guess there is an investigation. Doesn't sound like the family's happy with the investigation. I'll say that. His cell phone was found on a highway, on the side of a highway. His wallet was found in one area. Something else, I think his lanyard for his college, his university, was found in another area. It sounds odd. I will say my meditations, something in my meditations made me wonder if Jelani was gay and if he had met up with somebody that night. That was kind of the way I was leaning in meditations. I don't know if that's true. I was trying to look online to see if there was anything that said maybe that was the case. Uh, did not find anything. So I'm just going to take a second. I'm just going to ask what happened. Um, so I'm going to take a second to just focus, and we're just going to ask the general kind of what happened here sort of question, and um, and see if we can't get some more information on it. I did have a picture of him. I like to look at their pictures too. It helps sometimes. Yeah, okay. Gonna look at his picture and kind of just focus on him for a second. What happened to Jelani Day? So let's see what card we get. You gotta admit, it's an odd thing. I guess he was a grad student at that. So, um, a speech pathologist, I think, was what he wanted to be. Had a lot in in front of him. A lot of life in front of him. What happened to Jelani Day? He had gone to what they call, a cannabis dispensary. Um, Queen of Wands is the card that I picked for what happened to him. That's a very interesting card. We'll get another one too because I want to read more about it. But the Queen of Wands is somebody that is very active, taking activity into their own hands, decides their own fate. It makes decisions. She's a queen. She's also the most like grounded, earthy queen. She's out there doing her own thing. That I did get a queen, and I did wonder if he's gay. I'm kind of going back to that being a possibility. Sometimes feminine men are given more of the female cards. And that might be what we're seeing here. I'm going to ask for another card to kind of clarify and see if that gives us more of a understanding of the situation. I could be wrong with that, but then in my meditations, something came through that made me think that. I even felt something that made me think that. So um, we'll see. Let me ask for clarification with that Queen of Wands, a little bit more information there on what happened. So he'd gone to the cannabis dispensary. It's legal where he is, and he got it. And more about what happened with Jelani Day. What happened there? Okay, so this is a card of being protective. This is a card of protecting what's yours. It's a card of, again, we have wands. So we've got the Queen of Wands, and now we have the Nine of Wands. Um, it's a card of keeping things behind you and standing in front and sort of protecting those things that are yours, protecting your yourself and your things. This guy's got a bandage on his head, so he looks like he's feeling harmed a little bit and like he's on guard, right? That's what this guy's like. He's standing there on guard, being protective of his things. So what does that mean? Was it like a robbery that went wrong or something along those lines, being protective of your things? Was that something feeling like you were going to be harmed type situation? Hmm. Let's talk about the other. Let's just ask if somebody else was involved because it makes me wonder. Tell me about someone else being involved in Jelani Day's death. Just seems so odd. Someone else being involved. This is a complicated case, Jelani Day. This is not an easy case. It's very complicated. And as a reader, I only have my own experiences to kind of put things together with. Um, I feel like this may be a little beyond my own experiences. We'll see. Here we have the Queen of Cups again. I just wonder, and the Queen of Cups, let's look at her. So she's a person that is focused on their emotions, and she's by water, and that very well sounds like, I mean, he was by water, and he very well may have been focused on his emotions. He felt very protective of something in this situation. Um, Two queens here. Again, it's making me wonder if there was another person that he met up with, which may have been gay. I don't know. I don't want to make like accu accusation. I don't think there's anything wrong with being gay, but I know some people do. So I want to be careful with what I say there. But I am wondering. Looks like he was focused on his own emotions, feeling very protective of um, who he who he was and what he had at some point. And the person that he met with may have been very focused on that person may have been focused on what they wanted to emotionally. Let's see what else. Tell me more about that night and someone else being involved. More about that night, someone else being involved. I wonder if his money was in his wallet, if everything was the way it should be. Well, this is the sun. The sun is kind of moving forward freely, feeling free. I'm wondering if it was him kind of just getting out, and so he's a college student, a university student, a grad student is my understanding, and that's a very kind of stressful situation, and this was a time for him to just let loose, let go. Sounds like he had gone and bought pot and was wanting to just relax and be kind of feeling free and just get out of that um, mode of school, 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 school. Act like a kid is what I see. And I see that in the Queen of Cups too. There's like kids all over this card if you look on her throne. I just feel like it was time for him to be carefree and not be concerned with all that other stuff. He just wanted to go and be carefree and focus on his needs, his emotional needs at the moment, and not focus on all the other stuff that he has to focus on throughout the day. It seems that this situation he thought was going to be a lot of fun is what I'm feeling. I'm just going to ask for more information about that night. It's complicated. It's rather complicated. More information about that night. Some people think it was a suicide, and others are saying no way. His father evidently had cancer, and he was the match for his father, was my understanding. Tell me more about that night. That's both of these cards. Okay, well, that's the Fool. That's going into something, and we saw that with the Sun also, the carefree, look at this guy, very carefree, not paying attention to the things that could happen to him that aren't good. You see, he's walking along, la la la, he's not even looking where he's going, and he's about to walk off a cliff. I think he walked into a bad situation and did so very thinking he's going to have a fun time, thinking he's going to be carefree, thinking he's just going to have a good night and fun, and I can relax and I don't have to be on guard. But then we see he ended up having to protect himself at some point. And then the Moon, yeah, because the Moon is a card of anxiety, a card of things not being what they appear, right? The Moon is a card of reflection, of you seeing things in a different way than what they really are. And we saw that in the Fool. The Moon also is above water. It's like things happening that aren't good in that water. And that's what we saw too with, obviously, with Jelani. I think he was being careless and carefree and kind of just letting loose and not being careful, and and misgivings is what I'm getting from this card. There were misgivings. It's the Moon is also your domesticated and your impulsive self, right? Your instinctual self. Again, I'm not sure if he went to meet somebody. It looks like he did something sort of, being fed and led by instinct instead of using his real rational mind. He uses his real rational mind all day at the university, and sometimes you just got to let that go and you got to get out and have a good time and forget, you're a college student, for heaven's sakes, and just have a good time. But I'm seeing that he followed maybe his instincts and did not follow, logic, and he wasn't as careful as he should have been. We're not going to blame him for this, obviously. He's a victim here. But that's when I asked, tell me about that light, that's what I'm getting. He went into something being a little foolish, a little too trusting. The Fool's really trusting, So's that Baby in the Sun card. Just really carefree and trusting. You can see the similarity in these two cards. Very carefree, very trusting, just going out, just sort of enjoying themselves, just being kids, and I know he was 25, he wasn't a kid, but in many ways that night he wanted to be. He wanted to kind of just shut off the school, shut off all the worries in his life, father being ill, all of those things, and he just wanted to just get out there and not be the responsible person he has to be all day. He just wanted to let loose, which everybody needs to sometimes, but it led to a situation that wasn't good. Let's ask if he really did just drown. I think he did. This is my thought, not anything I'm seeing in the cards. I just don't know how he got in the water. Maybe we'll ask about that. How did Jelani Day end up in the water? And I'm just going to take a peek at his picture one more time before I read that and just look at him. All right. How did he end up in the water? Just going to read him for a second. I see somebody that, yeah, you can see the pain in him. You can also see that he had hopes. He was a little disappointed. He wasn't doing as well as he wanted to in school, is what I'm getting. He wanted to be like at the top of his class. And he felt a little disappointed in himself for not being. I think he took things seriously, but not. He could have taken them a little bit more serious, is what I'm feeling with him. there were things that were clouding his mind sometimes. He wasn't always super happy. Um, Heaviness. That there was a heaviness on him sometimes that interfered with his schooling. Sometimes I think he suffered from a little bit of depression. I don't think he felt like he fit in all the time. Definitely don't feel like he fit in all the time. Like he walked in between two worlds. And not in the way that people like I do. That he walked in he didn't fit in with women, he didn't quite fit in with men. He was the there was something about him that he didn't fit in either or. You know how they say sometimes biracial people don't feel like they fit with white people and they don't feel like they fit with black people, and they have a little bit he had a little bit of an identity. Um Not crisis. Crisis is a little strong word, but a little bit of a where do I fit? He wasn't sure where he fit. He didn't feel quite comfortable in either world. Hmm, that's really interesting. I think he had a mischievous side to him. That's coming through too. Had a bit of a mischievous side to him. And he was kind of funny sometimes. Serious. He had a serious side, but he was kind of funny. Hmm. Yeah, sometimes I think he saw very well for people for who they were. He was a good judge of character. Wasn't as careful with himself, though. I'm not sure why. I think he was just stressed out and needing to let loose. Anyway, I'm going to read a little bit more instead of sitting there staring at him. So what were we going to ask? We were going to ask how he got in the water. How the heck did you end up in the water, Jelani? All right, let's focus on that. How did he end up in the water? I don't even know what card I'm expecting to get from this. I have no clue. Sometimes I could say, well, if I get this card, it would be like this. And if I get this, and I could sort of explain it ahead of time. I really don't know on this. How do you end up in the water? I guess if I got like a Five of Swords or a Seven of Swords or something, I would say somebody else was involved. Well, that's the Knight of Wands. That's somebody rushing forward. Wands can denote sexual cards. I kind of am wondering if he went to meet someone sort of as a hookup thing. Um, I don't want to say too much about that because it could be wrong, and you want to be very careful of somebody and their secrets, maybe. Um, Everybody has a life that other people don't know about. We don't share everything about our lives with other people. There's always parts of our lives that we keep to ourselves. I think this situation was a part of Jelani's life that he kept to himself. I think maybe he went to meet someone else, kind of rushed in. I'm hearing that. Only fools rush in. And isn't that the song? And here's a fool. Um, I think that's what it was. I think he met somebody else, or he rushed in by himself. But it seems to denote that he might have been meeting somebody else. The Knight of Wands is impulsive. This guy, he's very impulsive, and we saw that with the moon, right? We saw the dog that was impulsive. Actually, the wolf, and he was acting more wolfish. The impulsive side of him was coming out. The impulsive side of him came out this night. the kind that has needs, that needs to not be responsible, that needs to let blow off steam, that needs to just follow instinct and be kind of who you are in the moment and be free and just go be yourself and stop having to pretend and guard yourself all the time and guard who you are and what's yours. He just wanted to let that go. That's what I see, and just be himself. It looks like the water deal was something impulsive. So let me ask for more on that. There was like an impulsive act behind it. Well, that's the Page of Cups. It follows the whole theme that we've seen here. Again, the Page of Cups is an actor. Can be. He can be a lot of things. This person's following his emotions. We saw that with the Queen of Cups too. This gal over here, following her emotions. Um, Page of Cups, you see he's dressed kind of eccentrically. He actually can stand for a gay man. He's a good card to get in this reading if that's what I'm feeling. I may be. This guy is a pretender, and he, you see, he's dressed kind of eccentrically. He's on a stage, actually, if you look there, and behind him is water. Did Jelani just get tired of pretending all the time? Did he just act impulsively? I see him being carefree. I see him wanting to just blow off steam, be himself. This almost, it reminds me of being catfished because you see the fish in the cup and somebody pretending. That's kind of where I'm going with this. It almost seems like he was catfished. Look at that card. That's what it reminds me of. And that there was some sort of being gay element in there. I hope I'm not offending anybody when I say that. His family would know. I mean, surely his friends would know. But that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like he was sort of catfished to that place. And that's how he got in the water. And he went sort of following his impulses, sexual impulses, and the need to just be free, carefree, forget, just be yourself, stop pretending to be somebody else all the time. But in that, I think there was some other stuff going on. He was following his emotions too. We saw that emotions throughout this reading with that Queen of Cups and just that real need to be carefree. Yeah, it just makes me wonder if that was the issue. That's what it looks like to me. Possibly he was catfished. All right. Well, that's what I have. I hope they find more information about this. He just really just wanted to go out and have a good time, is what I see, and just blow off steam and be carefree. I don't see him being super suicidal. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe it is here and I'm just missing it. That's not really what I see, though. I do see someone stressed out and wanting to just kind of blow off steam. Let me ask if this was a sexual thing. The heck, we might as well ask, huh? Doesn't hurt. Tell me about this being a sexual, like, hookup. Is that what this night was about? Was it a hookup? Okay, let's find out about this night being just a hookup. Well, there's a Ten of Swords. That's not a good card at all. It's somebody that's, you could see the water behind him, and you could see him, laying on the ground with all these. I mean, look at the state he's in. Do I have to explain that? Look at the state he's in. It's not a good situation. It's a completion card too, a 10, an ending. Yeah, definitely doesn't look good for being a hookup. It may have been on his end. Somebody had intentions, it looks like, to do him wrong. That's what it looks like. Let me ask more about that, about somebody having intentions to do him wrong. Tell me about someone wanting to do him wrong. Tell me about that, Jelani Day. Still not sure if it was us. Tell me about that, Jelani Day. Tell me about that. Somebody doing him wrong. Okay, we'll do these two. Well, that's a choice. He did make a choice, I see, when I get this cup, I get this card, the Seven of Cups. It's a choice that may have led to his own demise, meaning in these cups there's good things and in these cups there's bad things. And this person has to make a choice, and he did make a choice that night. I just don't know that he jumped in by himself. I'm not, I think there was a choice that brought him around water. I'll give you an example of when I get this card before. A woman driving, um, I believe she was intoxicated. No, nobody knows. No toxicology report came out that said she was. No toxicology report came out that said she wasn't. But this can very well stand for making a choice along those lines, which led to other bad situations happening. And that with that woman is what I think happened. And that very well may be what happened here too. Just maybe the choice he made wasn't so good. And see, we have the choice, and how now we have the choice with other people involved. Somebody being your friend, somebody giving you the cup, somebody, the cup, the choices. We've had the Queen of Cup up here too. And cups can be a water card too. And we've seen a lot of water in these cards. Yeah. Do you think somebody else was involved? I do think he was going to meet up with somebody else. It looks like that. It was a choice he made. Um, these people are on stage too. If you look, just like our Page of Cups with this pretender guy over here is on a stage as well, pretending to be your friend. And this guy, sort of a catfish guy, is what it reminded me of. It's a bad situation, and it's beyond anything I've ever experienced here. This situation with Jelani Day. I think he got into a bad situation, a real bad situation. And unfortunately, he was kind of in this situation foolish. May have been a little intoxicated. I mean, we know he was smoking dope that night. Maybe that was it. So he wasn't making the best choices at the moment. It's a tough read because this is real complex. I just know it. It's really super complex. Um, yeah. Well, that's what I have for now. I may revisit this if I think I can get something more out of here. Wish I could get names or something. Anyway, that's what I have for now, Jelani Day. Take care. Bye bye.